Good morning, Commissioners. This is the public hearing of May 20th, 2014. Chair Tierney.
Here.
Commissioner Bland. Here. Commissioner Chapin.
Here.
Commissioner Devonshire. Here. Commissioner Goldblum. Here. Commissioner Moore. Commissioner Perlmutter. Commissioner Washington.
Okay. Commissioners, we're going to start with item number 3, application for a certificate of appropriateness in the Borough of the Bronx, docket number 15-2485, block 5939, lot 374, 5220 Sycamore Avenue in the Riverdale Historic District, a colonial revival-style carriage house designed by Clarence L. Sefford and built in 1903. This is an application to construct an addition.
Good morning, Commissioners. Mr. Schaefer, Preservation Staff. In 1998, the Commissioners approved an addition to this house. This is the floor plan, and this was part of the addition, which was 2 stories, which you can see over here, and then a little 1-story porch at the back, which is over here. And the current proposal is to enclose and enlarge the porch. So this is the roof of the proposed extension of that porch, which you can see here. So this then is the addition. This is on where the current porch is, and then this is the extension of that porch. And there isn't a map in your handout on the board, so I'll just pass this around to show the location of the house. It's kind of tucked away. It's not readily visible from the street. So these are some photographs. This is the house, the main house back here. This is the addition, and then this is, again, the addition over here. And this is a proposed photo montage. Yeah, this is a photo montage. This is existing, and this is proposed with the new extended porch.
So it's just the porch that's being added, not an
Yes.
enclosed room?
Well, it's being enclosed. It's currently an open porch. And it's being enclosed.
Also, they're extending
In
it.
favor, right?
and
Yeah,
enclosing it.
Yes. Make sure I got it right. Here.
Okay, please, go on up. Steve, please, state your name for the record and add only what you think you need to add.
I am Steve Burge with BPSK Architects. Nice to see you all again. Hope we can see one more. Yes, I remember it was about 15 years ago that I came before here. Bill Neely was my staff person. There were some very sensitive comments by Jan Corning. I must have spent a lot more time in this room. And at the time, there was this addition that was placed to the side here, and then there was an open porch and a retaining wall. It's built into the hillside, so there's a retaining wall that wraps around. So there was a small open porch and then a small little courtyard. Since then, my original clients, have gone from having 4 children to now 20 grandchildren. And so there's a severe need now for a family room for the grandchildren to play. So the idea for this was the main building has clapboard below and shingles on the 2nd floor, was to continue the line of the clapboard at the point where the current open porch is, to make it seem more like it was part of the original addition. The roof is higher at that point, and then to step back the addition itself is about 15 by 14, it's like 220 square feet. And often you see in Riverdale, in the Riverdale Historic District, evidence of porches that were open porches with posts, and then at some later point in time they were glazed in. The glass windows were set behind the lines of the posts, so you still read the skeleton of the porch and the glass behind it. And so what we propose to do is to do exactly that in what is now the open courtyard that butts up against the stairs which remain that take you up the hillside. In terms of the views, and this is taken at the best possible time, which is the middle of the winter, because otherwise it's totally invisible. From Sycamore Avenue, this is the view as you see it now. Notice that there is a retaining wall. If you look at the first page, which shows a survey, the view 1, there is a retaining wall which creates sort of a walled garden at the L of the house. And that retaining wall is here, and you can see it here. And it actually goes to the edge almost of what you see of this porch, so it really almost renders the driveway. The driveway is sort of a sweeping driveway that enters at one point of the property and sweeps down to the other end of the property. So that's the other view here, which is here. And you can see the stone pillar here. Here's the main house. This is what it looks like now, and this is, again, proposed very, very slight difference. Then there is one area that's pretty much very heavily forested with evergreen trees, and there's one view where there's some deciduous trees, which in the winter is visible, and that is on this sheet here. So at the deciduous trees, you can sort of look through the tangle of branches and see the porch, and then here you can see it with the addition. So what it looks like is we wanted to break down the massing of it to look like half clabbered part of the main body of the building, and then half enclosed porch, so that we're creating a new room for the house.
Okay. Any questions around the table? Community board likes it. Yes, Fred?
Did you add the addition initially?
Yes.
Yes, it was your,
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Years ago, yeah.
yeah. So, Community Board 8, 38-0 approval. And unfortunately, we don't have a sixth, but you've learned the tests that we and passed them all in terms of an addition like this, in terms of, in my judgment, the materials and the addition harmonious, and also that the roof line being respected, et cetera. So I think and as you're good to show it, as you said, in the winter where we get the max, and minimally visible, if that's even relevant here, which I'm not sure it even is, but.
Well, I asked that question about the initial addition because I think it was very sensitively done, and I wasn't sure whether you did it or not, Steve. But I think it was extraordinarily well done, and the addition to it, so minor really in its scope, simply continues to use that same language, which makes the whole ensemble seem quite comfortable and highly appropriate, so I certainly support it.
I agree. I think I know the house well, and the site well. It's a lovely site on a really bucolic street that actually gets more traffic than it should, because it is both immediately adjacent to Wave Hill, and it's on the way to the schools and this big school and the train station. So it gets a lot of traffic, and because of the way the road bends around it, one sees this house very much. And it's very much a landmark in the neighborhood, and I see nothing here that would in any way diminish it.
Okay, Michael,
I agree. The impact on the original building is very positive.
Yeah, I think it's a large house, and can take this addition, and it is really subordinate, as has been designed, and also I think the materials and the fenestration are totally appropriate to the existing building, and I can definitely approve it.
okay, you know the drill well. When we get a 6, we'll be able to do a quick briefing and hopefully take action at that point. I think we can do it. Yeah, this is a clean application, so thank you. And we'll close the hearing for the moment. Motion second, thank you. Okay, all right. Next item.
Okay, the next item is item number 8, which is an application for a certificate of appropriateness in the Borough of Brooklyn, docket number 15-5645, block 321, lot 40, 132 Kane Street, in the Cobble Hill Historic District, a row house built circa 1850. This is an application to install a rooftop stair bulkhead, raise a rear rooftop parapet, extend a chimney flue, and modify window and storefront openings.
Good morning, Commissioners. Corey Harala, Preservation staff. 132 Kane Street is at the southwest corner of the intersection of Kane Street and Cheever Place. This proposal consists of several components to be reviewed by you today. At the Kane Street storefront, the applicants propose to build a infill wall that would basically eliminate the recessed entrance within the storefront. So this would have a brick bulkhead and display window type framing set slightly behind the plane of the existing storefront, I believe 3 inches back from that. So that's at the Kane Street storefront. At the Cheever Place facades, again, the approach is to remove the existing door openings. This is being converted from commercial to residential at the ground floor. So this will include installing brick bulkheads at both of these door entrances and pairs or single 2/2 double hung windows in the place. So that's what you're seeing here. Lastly, at the rooftop, the applicants propose to install railings. So that's a railing at the low rooftop and at the tall rooftop, and also an L-shaped stair bulkhead. That's what you're seeing here in green. So it's an L shape with a flat roof. You do see this over the rear facade and also over the side facade from a distance, and that's what you're seeing here shaded in blue. So with that, I'll turn it over to the architect to present the proposal.
Okay, thanks, Corey.
Thank you very much, Corey. Excellent job. Any questions?
Your name only on the
My
record.
name is Mark Chadwick, architect.
Okay. Bear with us a moment, and then I'll see if we have a... Yeah, Fred.
I'm known around this table for not minding rooftop additions, but this one seems a little too large for the house and too visible. Is there a way that you can imagine that it can be reduced in bulk and size and height or something?
We have exercised some options, if I can refer to the floor plan. The other photographs of the visual appearance are here. Window detail. Do you have a plan here on the other side? I think it's this one. Yeah. So there is an option which would actually, I think, be a little less attractive. That if we ran the stair, if you can understand, this is the north side of the building, which is Kane Street, and this is Cheever Place. So if you ran the stair, instead of going south towards, Staten Island, this would, and then made this L shape. If we ran it north, we have the problem with the sloped roof, which I think we would have to increase the number of stairs. And visually, I think it will be unattractive on the Kane Street side.
Well, first of all, you have a flat roof, right? As opposed,
It has a slope of about 112.
relatively.
Yes.
I mean, you could slope it to follow the stairs. And reduce its apparent
I think
Yeah.
we could run it straight. There was a question which,
Yeah, you're
a design change that was brought up by a very observant staff member, Corey, that ran
She's here all day.
I guess the air conditioning units that is supported by dunnage in this direction as opposed to what we had previously proposed running in that direction. So, to just fit these air conditioning units out of sight, we decided to put an L in that stair landing that actually increases the bulkhead
You didn't go to the cranes,
bulk, I would say. So we could do a redesign of that stair and run it directly south. I just don't know about the visual appearance. It probably would reduce it somewhat, about half of what we're seeing here in green.
Okay, yeah, I think that is something, and it would be, make it more appropriate, if you will, but certainly appropriate, in my opinion. Let's see, Marjorie, let's do a quick Corey for Marjorie here.
Just as a brief
Yeah.
recap, there are several components to this, starting with the Kane Street storefront. The applicant proposes to install infill basically eliminating the recessed commercial entrance, installing new infill. So that's what you're seeing right here. It would just be set slightly behind, 3 inches behind the plane of the existing with the brick bulkhead and frames display window to match. At Cheever Place, removing both door entrances, installing brick infill below, and paired in single double hung windows in all of those openings. It's being converted from commercial to residential. And at the rooftop, installing railings at the low roof and the tall, and at the main roof, and an L-shaped stair bulkhead that you see from a distance over the secondary lot line facade, and also minimally over the rear facade, which you're seeing here in green.
What's the material of the bulkhead?
Would be stucco.
Uh-oh, said the wrong thing, but anyway, so for her, no, I'm kidding. It's all right.
Well, I mean, we need, you might propose a lot of the material.
Yeah.
Visually, you know, I would think that we could provide some tint to it that would match the brick of the exterior.
Worse, okay.
Let's see, I've jumped a little ahead here. We have testimony from Barbara Zay now.
No stucco.
Please.
Devonshire never replaced
No stucco.
Good morning, Barbara Zay of the Historic Districts Council. HDC requests that the applicant investigate ways to make the roof access bulkhead less visible and suggests the use of a lower bulkhead, such as a roof door produced by the Canadian company Daylighter. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other testimony? Okay, so continue the discussion. Fred, please.
Well, I think that's my sentiment too, that it should be reduced. I'm not sure, let's listen to other commissioners, whether this could be handled with staff, making it lower, or whether they need to come back and show us how it's going to be lower. I'm tending, maybe, even though it's a little thing, to think that it's the latter, but I also like to send it to staff when we can.
Michael?
I agree. I'd like to see it again, though.
I have no interest in seeing it again.
Neither do I.
I think the sloped bulkhead is something we do all the time, and I would just also say that they should never have the interior bulkhead or anything like this, which is really just meant for simple access to be more than 7 foot clear. It's called out as a dimension of 8 foot clear. And I'll leave the stucco comment.
Yes, Fred?
I want to make an addendum to my comment about the materials. I'm sure that this comment will be made right after I speak, but it should not be stucco. It should be metal of some sort, I think, not brick, and not colored to look like brick, but colored to be gray or something like that.
So I agree with all the comments, except I don't need to see it again. I'd be happy
Either,
with
yeah.
the change.
And I'm
Okay.
the same as the other commissioners here. I think that the staff could handle these changes.
Okay. And if the staff is, if for some reason it's not working out, we will see it again. How's that? Okay. So, excuse me, close the hearing. Motion second. Michael Goldblum, please.
Regarding 132 Kane Street in the Cobble Hill Historic District, the application is to install a rooftop stair bulkhead, raise a rear rooftop parapet, extend a chimney flue, and modify window and storefront openings. I recommend approval with modifications, finding that the installation of the proposed stair bulkhead railings and flue extension will not damage any significant historic features of the building, that the stair bulkhead will not be visible directly over the Kane Street facade, that the proposed location of the stair bulkhead set back from the planes of the building's primary Kane Street and Cheever Street facades in its proposed neutral finish will help to minimize its visual impact at the building and in the surrounding streetscape, that the presence of minimally visible rooftop railings will not detract from the significant architectural features of the building, that the historic Kane Street storefront featuring large display windows, metal-clad wood framing, and a brick bulkhead will largely be retained, with alterations occurring only within the recessed entrance. That the details of the modified Kane Street storefront entrance opening will match the details and materials of the surrounding historic storefront. That the historic openings of the Cheever Place storefront will largely be retained, and that the proposed work will not diminish the special architectural historic character of the building and historic district. However, I would request that the applicant work with the staff to reduce the height of the bulkhead, slope the top of the bulkhead, and change the material to metal, gray metal.
Second. All in favor? Aye, opposed? Okay, that's approved as modified. We're going to go for 3, please.
I've actually reviewed the drawings.
You have?
Yeah.
On- Good. Well,
Okay.
then,
So I don't really need a presentation.
we had a consensus that it was,
Just for the record, I have to
sorry?
say what it is for the record. So, just for the
Yeah,
record,
go,
it's item
please.
number
Yes.
3, docket number 15-2485, 5220 Sycamore Avenue in the Riverdale Historic District, and this was an application to construct an addition.
Okay, and we all discussed and approved.
Right, right, and I agree that the proposed addition is actually rather modest, but also very sensitive to the elements that are found in the existing building, and so actually
Okay.
work is a nice counterpoint.
Did you read it on the subway? How'd you read it so fast? Okay, okay. Okay, hearing closed, well, we didn't really open it again. Would you do this one, please?
Yeah, in the matter of certificate of appropriateness, Borough of the Bronx, 5220 Sycamore Avenue, Riverdale Historic District, Block 5939, Lot 374. Application is to construct an addition. I recommend approval, finding that the proposed extension will match the materials, style, and details of the house and previously approved addition, that the design and materials of the addition will be harmonious with the building's colonial revival style, that the extension will maintain the height of the existing one-story porch it is replacing, and thus will be subordinate to the roof line of the existing house and extension, that the placement of the extension at the inner corner of the site, partially built into the hill, will maintain the open character of the site and will not affect any significant landscape improvements, that the wood clapboard siding and wood multi-pane windows and doors of the proposed addition will relate well to the materials found in the main house and existing extensions, that the large void to solid ratio of the proposed extension gives it the appearance of an enclosed porch, a typical addition to buildings of this age and style, and that the proposed extension will not detract from the special historic and architectural character of the house or the Riverdale Historic District.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's approved. Thank you.